Hey, welcome to part two of how to nail down an extra $1,000 plus a month in your trade business. I'm Erica, and let's keep going. So, section number two is about billing for changes as they happen. And this is definitely one of the things that people aren't very good at that can cost you a ton of money. I know personally, I'm coming at this from the perspective of doing bookkeeping for a small business, in particular, somebody I was married to, and having receipts come through the wash and not really knowing who they were for. And so, changes, it's those onesie twosie little bits that turn a job from being really profitable into something where you're just barely making it. All right. So, why it matters to track as you go. Your memory is going to be so much better if you don't wait till the end of a job. So, if you're doing a job and it's, say, 6 weeks or 8 weeks long, and something changed in week one or week two and it wasn't big, then you might forget. Right? You might forget that you spent a couple of extra hours doing it. You might forget that you had to grab some extra materials. You might. And the customer's not necessarily going to remember, and they're certainly not going to remind you because they're probably going to forget too. The other part is that it saves you time. And it may feel like it's a little bit more work up front, but I guarantee this is an area where 1 hour spent up front is going to save you 10 hours on the back end for sure. So, with respect to your memory, I'm at the age now where I walk into a room and I can barely remember why I've walked into the room. And I'm sure that you are not experiencing that at all, but we've all got tons of stuff that's ongoing, lots of things to remember. So it is a lot less likely if every single week you are looking at what changed. You're a lot less likely within that week to forget that there was an extra charge or there was an extra service or whatever. The other thing is, it's not just about your memory, it's also about the customer's memory. If you are not billing your customer for changes as you go, and your job is 6 weeks, or say it was 4 weeks and then you're going to have a break and then you're going to come back, and then at the very end of everything you provide them with an invoice, and suddenly they have $5,000 worth of upgrades, not or extras. They're not going to remember that it was $200 here and $800 there and $500 there, and that has added up over the course of the work that you've done. They're now looking at, oh my gosh, $5,000, because they haven't been tracking it. They haven't been calculating it as they go. I shouldn't say that, like, obviously you're going to have customers that are really on the ball and they're going to know all of these things, but let's be honest, most of our customers are not like that. So, both for your memory and for your customer's memory, you want to track and invoice those changes as you go. So, and the other advantage too is it's going to save you time. So, if you get really good at sending an invoice every week, it is going to be a lot faster every time you produce an invoice because you're going to get better at it. You're going to know where the form is. You probably already got most of the information filled out and you're just tweaking a little bit here and there. And if you're always sending an invoice with all of the changes, then you're going to get really good at it. And the customer is going to get accustomed to also probably paying you. So it's going to improve your cash flow in addition to making sure they have it. Now, I'm not saying every time you send an invoice that you have to charge the customer for it or that you have to expect them to pay it right away. Say it's only $200 on a $20,000 job. But the point is that you've put the marker, you've gotten it ready, everybody knows it's an expectation. And let's be honest, it's never only $200. $200 could be that pair of boots that you want. $200 could be a nice dinner out. $200 could be some video game that you want to play. I don't know, but $200 is never just $200. $200 you don't charge your customer is $200 that is not in your pocket. So you might as well walk around at the beginning of the day and pull $200 out of your pocket and hand it to your customer, because that's essentially what it is that you're doing. All right. Now, also in terms of saving the time, if you are sending your customer invoices regularly, then they are expecting the invoices regularly. They are more likely to pay them regularly. And then it's not like, because if you happen to send an invoice and then they see it and then they don't pay it right away. So you now don't have to remind them because they're paying the invoices. They're expecting them, they're seeing them, they're not forgetting about them because it's becoming something that's a little bit of a routine. So the less that you have to remind your customers about things, the better off you are. And it also will save you time as well, because if you're laying the stuff out and they're expecting those changes, then they're not going to suddenly say, "What do you mean that change?" And now you're not spending a half an hour going back 10 weeks, walking them through what the change was and the conversations that you had them. So, absolutely, invoicing is going to get faster and you're going to spend a lot less time with your customers reminding them about what the things are and reminding them to pay your bills. So, that is part 2A of our section on how to earn an extra $1,000 a week, a month. Actually, you could probably earn an extra $1,000 a week, actually, if you do these things. So I'm Erica. I'm the founder of Jig Savvy. If you want this course or anything else that we do, you can go to jigsavvy.com. All the information's there.